Student Life and Leisure at Student Life and Leisure, Skyline College. That is me. I just want to go over some community agreements. This is going to be a recorded event that we will have up later in our YouTube for ASSC. We will send a follow-up email just to let folks know it will be available. Our community agreements, we got to respect our space. Even though this is a virtual space, we have to keep this an alcohol and drug-free virtual environment. And we have to show up with a community-minded attitude, right? And even more so now, we have to show up and support and show love to our presenters and the performers. And for our community, I think in this virtual space, we feel so disconnected because we can't like be physically connected, but we still want to carry that vibe of community and of kindness and compassion, right? Before I get to my next meeting, I wanted to share with y'all something that is interactive and something cool that I would welcome everybody to look up in, to tap into. I'm gonna post the Padlet in the chat. Looks like this, but what we have on our Padlet is, thank you, Gina, for the background, for the flags waving. We have Veterans Resource Center plugged in. We also have our appreciation videos that folks did for our vets. So if you're somebody that want to make a video to honor our veteran community, you could do that, right? Here, all you gotta do is click this box right here. It will take you to our Flipgrid, and all you gotta do is record a response, right? You could also see those responses that are already recorded. Shout out to Trustee Maurice Goodman, and shout out to Dr. Cheryl Johnson for coming through, and to Kenny, and to everybody else who were able to spend some time to show love to our vets. And if you have any questions, I'm gonna throw this in the throughout the event. You could ask in the Slido, which is an opportunity, a very low risk opportunity to ask questions, right? But if you're just not wanting to be on camera or don't feel like asking a question and you feel like you just want to type something out, I have something for you also. So if you just want to come in and leave something on the guest book, you definitely can show any type of messaging or affirmations to our vets, or just to let people know that you came through, right? Like if there's no picture, it probably didn't happen. So you could leave something in the guest book. Super easy to do. You could click this button and it will already create a post for you underneath the guest book. So you just point, click, and then let go. And at the end of the meeting, I know that a lot of folks want to keep their video off, but we're going to have an opportunity to take a picture. I'm very Filipino in that way that I have to document so many things. And Ryan already knows that to take multiple pictures, so that's two. So you have two opportunities to change your stance or fix your face however you would like, right? So I think that is all for me, and I want to throw this over to our host and MC, Thomas Gower.
Alrighty, well, hello everyone. First off, I'd like to say Happy Veterans Day, or early Happy Veterans Day. Another one that was already shouted out, but I'd love to say it again, is Happy Marine Corps birthday, of course, or sometimes we call it little bro, Navy. So there's a couple things we're gonna do today. We have a video that was pre-made by faculty, staff, students, and supporters. And after that video, we're going to move on to a student panel. So you can ask student veterans questions if you'd like, where we have a couple pre-made questions, but at the end you can ask some questions. With the video that we'll be showing today, we're going to ask that everyone turns off their camera and their microphone. We're going to start with the national anthem. And after that, just for the tech situation and making sure that the video runs as smooth as possible, please again, just turn off your video and your mute. And Gina, if you'd like to say anything.
Yes. Thank you everybody for being here and joining us today. I have the pleasure of leading our veteran services at Skyline College. I'm our coordinator of the Veteran Center. And I just want to thank those who have put a tremendous amount of work and effort into creating a virtual program since we are in this remote environment. When I sat down and talked with our student veterans leaders, we decided that the best way to honor Veterans Day this year is by creating this virtual presentation that would mirror what you might see when we are on campus. It's very important for us to be able to honor our veterans on Veterans Day, and it's a very special day for me and the work that I do. So I hope that everybody enjoys, and would just like to shout out and thank our president, Dr. Melissa Marino, for her contributions and for being here today. Thank you, Dr. Marino. For Will Minnick, our Dean of Enrollment Services, who provides tremendous support for our programs. For Dr. Cheryl Johnson, who I believe is here today as well. Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for your participation in our video. And for Kathleen Mink, who's here as well, our partner from the San Francisco VA Medical Center. For Thomas, for your contribution. And for our associated students of Skyline College, for Alvin, and for our students that provided contributions to our video. And a huge, huge shout out to Ryan Babala, who is a tremendous video editor and who has put this all together for everybody. So I really hope you guys enjoy. As Thomas mentioned, for this part, we are just asking for folks to turn off their cameras, as well as to mute themselves, so that you can have the best video viewing. If you are using Wi-Fi to connect, it may be easier if you have unnecessary devices connected, that you remove those devices. If you're, someone else in your household is streaming right now on Zoom and is attending class, we ask that you don't disconnect them. But if you have, cell phones or other things that are connected to Wi-Fi that don't need to be, that may also help enhance your viewing of the video. The other thing to mention is that we will be having a link to the video that's posted in our Padlet a little bit later today, so that if you missed any part of the video, want to, rewatch it or send it out to folks that maybe have missed this event, there'll be the opportunity to do that as well. So I will sit quiet here and show you our video.
Thank you, everyone.
In 1918, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting of World War I ended. A war to end all wars, they called it. Trench warfare, disease, and hunger spread across the world. Around 30 nations being involved and an estimated 20 million deaths. Finally, the end of the war came. And on that day, November 11th, became a universally recognized day of celebration. This day was initially declared as Armistice Day, which only honored veterans from World War I. But in 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, our great nation renamed the holiday to Veterans Day to honor all veterans who have served America. So today, we honor all our veterans who have placed their lives on the line for our freedom, the men and women who could have been regular citizens, but something inside of them heard the call of duty and they answered it. These brave individuals left their families, their homes, and their lives, not for recognition or fame or even the honor we bestow upon them today. They fought to protect our country, to maintain our way of life and instill peace across the globe. The freedoms we enjoy in this great country we call America are not common. Our children will grow up in a land that will protect them. Our words are protected by the Constitution of the United States of America, and to this day, this is still the land of the free. Veterans Day isn't just a day for veterans, it's a day for all Americans. It's a day to remember why we have fought and why we'll continue to fight. Veterans Day is a day for all of us to begin our journey of protecting our freedom and the freedoms of many future generations. Thank you for honoring our veterans today. Let us walk towards tomorrow still honoring them by living in the freedoms they protected.
Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Marino, Skyline College President. Whether you are a student, faculty member, classified professional, or an administrator, you are honored and we thank you for your service to our country. Military service is such a selfless act and we are so fortunate to have so many of you as part of our Skyline College family and sharing in the services the Resource Center provides. On Veterans Day, I will be personally honoring my father who passed away a year ago, January, who was a Korean War veteran. He lived in a tent for 2 years in the demilitarized zone, awaiting his call to duty. His number was moved up and was sent to the front lines with 3 of his buddies because they were late coming back from leave. My father was the only one to return. And fortunately, he lived a beautiful and long life after his service. And with that, I thank you again for your service and we celebrate you and honor you on this Veterans Day.
When I think of Veterans Day, 3 things always come to mind. Not that I'm not thinking about you all year long as we serve you and work together, but 3 things, especially this time of year, stand out to me. One is family, my aunt. She served in the Army and actually had boots on the ground during Desert Storm. And throughout her military service, we kept in touch, especially when she was back at home, and we chat and talk about her time in the service, and especially when she was active duty and as a reservist afterwards. And she was telling me about going through boot camp, the challenges, and some of the tears and the struggles. But she was always so proud, and we talked a lot about the skills and abilities and the family, the military family that she came so close with that helped shape her to be the person who she is today. The second thing that comes to mind is the word privilege. And as you look around the world today, in the news every day, you see unrest in other parts of the world. And not that we don't have our challenges here in the United States. However, there's some significant challenges facing other countries and other parts of the globe. And one of the things I appreciate so much is that the privileges and that we get to exercise our freedoms and our liberties that we're so fortunate to have in the United States. And third, but certainly not least, is our student veterans. I've been serving veterans, for actually well over 15 years now at 2 different institutions. And I'm always amazed and blown away by the drive, ability to overcome challenges, willingness to help. And those 3 things always stand out to me, and they're amazing. And I know a lot of that was ingrained. Maybe ingrained might be too strong of a word, but instilled upon you, learned, developed during your time in the service. So again, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Have a great day.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Dr. Cheryl Johnson. I'm the Dean of Student Equity and Support Programs, and I was asked to do this short video and they asked me to answer 3 questions. What does being a veteran mean to you? I'm very proud of my U.S. Navy service. My father was a veteran too. He was in the Army. I was in the Navy, and I was overseas. So I'm very proud that I served my country and that I'm a vet now. The second question, how was your transition to veteran status? Well, that wasn't bad at all. I married another Navy man. So I married a Navy man. So it was harder really to transition to being a dependent wife when I had been active duty. So that's really where I had a challenge in my transition, because I became a dependent wife, and then we were overseas. We were in Scotland and Italy. And so that was more harder than become just veteran status. And what would you like to say to the veteran community at Skyline College? Well, I'm very proud of you and your service to your country, and I'm very happy that you're in school and working toward a degree. I'm very proud of you. I started off with a bachelor's degree, and now I have a doctorate. So the sky is the limit, and you're starting at a good place at Skyline College. So happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service.
I'm Gina Chardella Palmer, and I'm the Program Services Coordinator for the Veterans Resource Center at Skyline College. Veterans Day to me is a day to honor, celebrate, and thank all of those who have served in our country's military. In my role, I have the absolute privilege of working alongside and supporting veterans and service members in the Skyline College community on a daily basis. When I think of the work I do, what stands out the most to me is how truly inspired I am by the maturity, passion, commitment, and perseverance of our veteran community. Skyline College veterans are inclusive of students, faculty, staff, administrators, and external partners. Each of you has a unique lived experience that contributes to the rich diversity of Skyline College. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to support you, to hear your stories, celebrate your successes, and observe the leadership and value you bring to the college environment. The modality of our services may be a little bit different right now. I want to remind you that the Veterans Resource Center is still a part of your campus network of support. As we continue to operate in a remote environment, I encourage you to stay connected to the Veterans Resource Center. I'd like to say today and every day to our veterans, thank you for the sacrifices you have made and continue to make for this country, and for the valuable contributions you make to our campus community. I wish you a wonderful Veterans Day.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Mink. I'm a social worker from the San Francisco VA Student Veteran Health Program, and I have the wonderful opportunity of working with Skyline College veterans. I wanted to first start by expressing my deepest gratitude for your service to our country, as well as to the service in the community that you bring to Skyline College and to the San Francisco Bay Area. I've had the fortunate experience of working with veterans for over 14 years. And in that time, I've had so many amazing interactions. It's really impossible for me to pick one that's meant the most to me. Veterans have been so generous with sharing their experiences with me. I've learned a lot about military life, what it means to transition from the military to civilian life, what camaraderie means, and really what service has meant to you. And the veterans I've interacted with have been people of amazing character, people with compassion, who are generous, who look out for each other, who are honorable, who are resilient, and who are people of unending strength and humor. By sharing your experiences with me, I think I've become a better clinician and a social worker because you've been generous to teach me so much that I can help other veterans. And that's really the cycle of service. It's a way that your service continues even beyond the time that you're in the military. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. It's really a way we take care of each other, right? Especially now when it's been so challenging. So I wanted to say thank you once again, and I'm wishing you all a very happy Veterans Day.
What's up, everybody? My name is Alvin Gubatina, Student Life and Leadership at the Skyline College, and I have a message for our veteran community. Thank you for your service, for dedicating your life to preserving our rights and livelihood. Also, thank you for the veterans that I have met and created relationships with. Y'all's stories and perspectives have had a profound impact on me and my leadership. And most importantly, thank you for choosing Skyline College as a community that you want to be a part of and trusting us with your growth and progress. So for today and every other day, I just want you to know we are here to celebrate you.
Hello, my name is Thomas Gower. I'm a student veteran at Skyline College, ASSC parliamentarian, and the Student Veterans of America Skyline Chapter President. I'm proud to be a part of the veteran community here at Skyline. This campus has done a great job of making my student journey as successful as possible. Along with the support of faculty and staff, my student experience has been immeasurable. For Veterans Day, it's a day where we veterans can all be proud of our service, the sacrifices we have made for our country and for our family, and to empathize for those who have faced so many obstacles and loss. We must understand that life after service is not easy for many. To the entire Skyline College veteran community, I would like to say thank you for your service and that you are not alone. Happy Veterans Day.
Hi everyone, I'm Elena Arroyo and I'm the Commissioner of Activities and the Associated Students of Skyline College. My family has not served and is not serving, but I just want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans at Skyline College and thank you for your service.
Hi guys, this is Min from Skyline College ASSC, and I just want to take a moment to thank all the veterans around the world who have served or who are still serving the country. Thank you very much for your sacrifice and your service, and Happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Hi guys, my name is Ryan, and I am a part of the VRC staff, and I'm the one that's editing this video right now. Yeah, so what does being a veteran mean to me? I do take a lot of pride in knowing that I am a part of a special group of people that chose to serve and protect this country. So yeah, I do think that's pretty cool, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And as far as how my transition went, it was a little rough because, well, for one, I joined when I was 19 and I got out when I was 24, and I'm 25 now. But yeah, when I first came back, my friends and family, they still saw me as a 19-year-old lost kid after high school that just went to the military, you know? So they never really had the chance to meet the 24-year-old soldier me until I came back home. And it was a little rough at first, but I'm happy to say that we grew past it and now everything's fine. But other than that, everything was pretty smooth. And as far as a message I want to tell all the other veterans out there, I just want to say you guys aren't alone. And I know you guys hear that a lot, but it's true. Me personally, it was really hard to leave my old unit because of the camaraderie, the brotherhood, and just the overall family aspect that I had with this special group of people, you know, and I had to leave them because of my time of service being up. And when I came back home, it was just really hard trying to find that again, and I was scared that I wouldn't, until I met other veterans that were struggling the same way I was. And I came to realize, just being home, that all because I left one family back in the military doesn't mean one isn't waiting for me back home. But yeah, but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and Happy Veterans Day.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Thank you for bearing through that video. I know it was a little laggy for some said it was fine. But thank you so much. The next thing that we're going to do is move towards our student veteran panel. That is going to be myself, Les Garcia, and Ryan Babila. And that will be given by Jose, which is a part of the ASSC. He's our ASSC Vice President. So Gina, if you could also maybe switch the camera over to Jose. Thank you so much, everyone, for the appreciation of the video.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Jose, how's it going?
Pretty good. So first of all, I'd like to say Happy Veterans Day. Well, early Veterans Day service. And the questions are, this one is, what important life lesson learned from your service?
Awesome. I think the way we can do it is we'll start with myself, then Les, and then Ryan. So for myself, what was an important lesson that I learned through my service? It was just show up on time. If you can do that, if you can show up on time, then the rest gets a lot easier. You know, a lot of people talk situations up in their head, right? Like before this event, I was really stressed out and nervous, and then I showed up and here we are. So for me, it's just showing up on time and giving it your all. You know, in the service, you don't really have an option. You have to give it your all. You're working late hours and you can't give up. So that was mine.
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate what Thomas said, you know, have a plan. Is something I picked up from this is it's having a plan has helped me out a lot better than just kind of winging it. So yeah, definitely having a plan will start setting your priorities for you. You get a lot of things that get in your way. I've dealt with a lot of little tricks here that have helped me stay on track with school. So and a lot of that discipline came from the Army.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say I love seeing all the love that I'm getting like in the chat for the video. So thank you guys and everything. But the video wouldn't be great without without everybody that actually sent their videos and everything. As much as I edited it, would it be great like without everybody saying like their thanks and everything for Happy Veterans Day. But as for the question, what important life lessons? I learned a lot, really. I think the biggest one was just that I take in every day is like the world does not really owe me anything, and if I really want something, you know, it's like I gotta work for it. You know, like life's not gonna just hand me something because I say like I want it, you know, or need something. Yeah, like when like I said, like I'm in the video when I joined like at 19, I was super lost when I was in high school, or right after high school, you know, like I thought I had a plan and I just didn't do it. And then the military really straightened me out. And after like meeting so many people from all walks of life from around the country and like even the world, I was like, you know what, like things could be a lot worse, you know? And if I really want something, then I got to do something and get it, really. But yeah.
All righty, next question, Jose.
Next question is, what was your favorite memory when you were in the military?
So for me, this is kind of like a love and hate relationship with this memory. It was awesome, but at the same time, it was because of something that kind of sucked. I was on the CVN 70 USS Carl Vinson, and during my time of service, we were attached to the strike group that was called, you know, Trump's Armada, right? So I was in the South China Sea, and while I was up there, our AOR, area of responsibility, was being turned over to another aircraft carrier. So during that time, we were going to go down to Australia and hit port. And instead of that, North Korea decided to launch a ballistic missile. And I believe the flight trajectory, it went over Japan and landed in the Pacific Ocean. Because of that, our Australian port call was canceled. We went all the way up by the South China Sea, and our deployment got extended by I believe it was like 2.5 months. But because we got extended and because what was going on our way back to San Diego, California, we stopped off by Hawaii. And in that time, we got to do something that's really rare in the Navy nowadays. It's basically you have like hamburgers, they grow hamburgers on the flight deck, and they shut all operations down. They allowed us to jump off the aircraft carrier, right, from the hangar bay level. So we're outside of Hawaii, right? There's nothing but ocean around you, and you're jumping off the aircraft carrier and you're swimming in the middle of the ocean. I mean, I've never experienced anything like it. So although it was a terrible time for a lot of people, you know, we at least got something out of it. And it was a great memory. So
what was the most fun for me in my military career? Is that what your question was, Ken?
Your favorite memory?
My favorite memory?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I guess my favorite and probably my most proudest moment was earning my cross rifles toward the end of basic training. That one always kind of sticks with me because when I joined the Army initially, I didn't join the Army for love of country. I joined the Army for the love of self, and it was the best thing I could have done. And being able to accomplish that feat when I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to, was definitely one of my proudest moments. As far as maybe fun, I mean, there was all kinds of shenanigans that take place when you're deployed. If you got a few bored infantrymen sitting around, put a pile of rocks in a tin can, and you'll probably come up with 2 or 3 different games. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Do they get to have fun over there in the 82nd, Ryan? Do they even let you guys out?
What was that? Okay, leg. But anyway, so as far as my favorite memory is probably my first jump as a paratrooper. As you can see, I was part of the 82nd Airborne in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I went to Georgia for jump school. And like on a side note, like when I first joined the Army, my recruiter told me that, oh yeah, all you have to do is 5 jumps, and then that's it. You have fancy wings. And then when I got to Fort Bragg, that wasn't the case. I had to jump every 3 months. Yeah, but my first jump though, oh my God, like that phrase, yeah, like it's a good day to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, right? And that's basically what I went through. So like just packing up, and my first jump was a combat jump, so meaning I had about like 100 pounds of gear on me, and we're like 1,000 feet in the air, and like, you know, just being like in the whole situation, I thought I was gonna die. I was like, oh my God, dude, like holy crap. Oh, sorry for my language, but yeah, like but like, you know, it's like I was so scared to jump out, and like I was already on the plane, and there's only one way out of it, right? Because you're like 1,000 feet in the air. So then like all I remember is, you know, went through the line, jumped out of the airplane, and you know that feeling when you stick your head out of the window, like when you're just driving? That's basically what it felt like, just all wind just going in my face, and like all I see like is the ground like from 1,000 feet, and then I'm just praying that my parachute opens. Like, please God, I hope it opens. And the next thing I know, it opens, and I feel a yank. I'm like, oh, I'm floating now. And we're in Georgia, like I'm in the middle like of the summer, so it's hot. And when it's hot, the heat goes up. So like I was caught in like a heat, like whatever it's called. So like I was floating for a long time, and I'm 5'6", and like 160. So I was up there for a pretty long time, and I probably had the softest landing. I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. It wasn't the case for the rest of my jumps, but that's how it was for my first jump though. But yeah, like that's probably one of my favorite memories, my first ever jump as a paratrooper.
Awesome. All righty, next question, Jose.
What advice would you give to somebody who is thinking about joining the military?
Okay, so I feel bad anytime anyone's came to me and said like, I want to join the military. The first reaction I had was like, oh, you know, it's like, oh my gosh. But you know, it's good for a lot of people. It's not good for some. But I think the biggest advice I can give is do as much research as you can. Especially nowadays, you can't trust recruiters. You can't trust family members that served, you know, 20, 30 years ago. Military is totally different now. The only thing you can really do is talk to people who are currently serving, someone that's separated in current times, you know, within the recent 3 or 4 years, hopefully, if you can find someone like that. And just expect to hear a lot of bad. And if you hear a lot of good, then do a lot of research. So that's pretty much it for me.
I wouldn't, I mean, yeah, I would definitely say, as somebody who's recently separated, I would extend that maybe to about 10 years, because the military's changed, but there are things that are still there that, somebody like me who's been out for 10 years that are still happening. One of the things I would say about the advice I would give would be have a clear understanding of what you're wanting to do in the military. What is your end game? If it's going to be a medic, a doctor, something like that, you can your job skill can be a medic. If you want to learn how to take apart cars and put them back together, you can work. There's a job skill for that. So my advice would be have an idea of what you want to do when your career is done with the military. If you're choosing not to be in the military for a career.
Yeah, like Thomas and Les pretty much like hit the nail like on the head of what I had a gist of what I want to say. But for my advice, it'll probably be to join the Air Force. No.
Yeah, that's always an option. Their academic program is much better.
No, I'm just kidding. But like, what I gotta say, like for people that want to join, like nowadays, it's all like you need to be physically ready for what you're about to go through. Like, if you do want to join, as smart as you are, I know the smartest people that were overweight, and they literally just got kicked out because they were just overweight. And it was really that simple for them to just be kicked out of the military because they couldn't meet the physical demands that the military needed from them. Because, like, for instance, as a Navy person, you're a sailor first. Like in the Army, you're a soldier first, and the Marines, well, yeah, it's a Marine. So, yeah.
I think they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, and like
Right.
same for the Air Force and the Coast Guard. It's like if you aren't physically ready for it, then I suggest you probably should train more and probably be ready to join when you are physically ready. And because if you're not physically ready, then your mental toll or the mental toll will be a lot because yeah, like if you can't even do like a simple like a push-up, how are you able to save somebody else that's like struggling next to you? Because it's the military. It's a team thing. It's not just about you. But yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty, next question.
What do you remember from the day you enlisted?
Oh,
well, wow.
So some of the people attending this, kind of know a little bit about my background, but I grew up as a troubled kid in the suburbs in Texas, and I always thought about it because everyone in my family had served, but I never really had a lot of intentions until I started looking at the end game in my life. And part of that was going to school. Part of that was, cleaning up my life a little bit, getting some more structure. I can say when I finally signed the contract and I raised my hand, I was like, what did I just do? Like, what did I just sign myself up for? Where am I going to go? You don't know anything. They don't tell you anything. When you join, you get your job sometimes, right? You can get your job beforehand. And for me, I thought, being supply chain logistics, I was going to be in an office, ordering paper and pencils and like regular supply stuff. And it was, I think, right after basic training, I got 2 weeks of leave and I showed up and I'm on an airfield in the middle of nowhere in Washington. Right. So I think just like the unknown factor, whenever I was done with it all, was scary, man. I was like, what am I doing? Where am I going to go? So that's mine.
So the day I enlisted, they asked me, all right, well, when do you want to leave? And I was like, well, I want to be on the first thing smoking, because if you give me more than a week, I'm probably going to want to change my mind. Plus I got to tell my mom, and I want to get out of here before she's got time to get after me. So my greatest memory from enlisting was they stuck us in a hotel in San Jose, and you know, you get the short period of time with your family before you actually leave. And my biggest memory actually is just my mom standing next to me. We were standing out in the pool area, and I could sense the emotion she had, knowing what I had signed up to do. I'm the last surviving male of my line, and my mom absolutely hit the roof when I joined, and for good reason. But yeah, my fondest memory of enlisting was I remember that. I'll always remember that day, because I left about 4 hours after that, and was on my way to Fort Benning, Georgia. And I showed up to Fort Benning, Georgia at night. And if anybody ever has that experience, it looks like you're entering gates of hell, kind of thing, because the way the entrance to the base is illuminated is like the orange lights like you see in San Jose, orange street lights. So it just, you know, kind of illuminates through the fog there. And but yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, and as far as what I remember, like when I enlisted, like the first day, like I remember showing up to the recruiting station and the recruiters had to take me to the airport and everything. Or actually the hotel that probably Les stayed at, like, and that's where we actually went first. Like, I remember just being there with my mom and my little brother. And my little brother, he was about 11 or 12 at the time, and like I remember just holding him like super tight, and just thinking like, wow, I'm not gonna see him for a long time. And probably when I come back, like he'll be like super super tall, like maybe taller than me. But as far as that, like I remember the same thing that Les said. Went to San Jose, was in like a hotel with a bunch of people who just signed a dotted line, and we all just talked about it like, hey, so what do you what are you expecting? And we all had the same answer, like, we don't know.
Everybody kind of shrugged their shoulders. I think
yeah, like, we don't know.
Yeah, that was one of those crazy moments. Because I don't know if did you have a roommate?
Yeah, like I did have a roommate, and like I talked to him, and like he was actually a mortarman like you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and then my job was a UAV operator, so I flew drones. So like he was a little jealous of me. So, but
semantics.
Yeah, and but other than that, like it was just a very surreal moment to just realize, like, you know, I'm leaving. You know, it's like I'm leaving to do something that like 3% like of the population does, like voluntarily, you know. And yeah, like I mean, it was just very, very cool, but very surreal at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey Jose, since we're kind of getting close on time here, I'm gonna ask if we can just skip to 8, 9, and 10 for the remaining questions.
Yeah. So let's go. What were your first few months out of service like?
Oh man, it was like the day I enlisted. It was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything, right? So I had this plan. I was preparing for a whole year before I separated. I thought I knew everything, you know, all the trainings they give you before they separate. They're, you know, you feel so secure. And then I remember it was like the first or second week out, I was like, wait a minute, like there's no galley, you know, there's no free food. Wait a minute, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to find work that might be 30 minutes away. It was a weird feeling of just like unknown again. Usually a lot of big transitions, it kind of goes that way. But yeah, just a feeling of unknownness.
Yeah, that's always a good question, because you know, yeah, all you know, the experiences they vary. You know, I again kind of sound like Thomas, but I thought I had all my stuff together. I thought I moved back to San Francisco, had all my VA stuff squared away, or at least my VA disability claims and things like that. Felt like I had all that squared away. I felt like I had a solid plan on what I was going to do once I got back to San Francisco. This is where my family is. I'm born and raised San Francisco, and the old St. Luke's Hospital that was torn down a couple months ago. And yeah, just, you know, once I got here and then all of that I thought I had prepped for, it just hit a brick wall. And I was kind of left holding the pieces, trying to figure out exactly what I was going to do. And the one I guess the lesson I learned out of that too was that no matter how prepared you are, you need to be prepared to take that day one loss, because it happens, and it's how you respond to that matters later on.
Yeah, and as for me, for my first few months, man, I partied. Once I came home, dude, like I partied like almost like every weekend, just being back home. Like, hey, I'm back home because I was gone for like 5 years,
Yeah.
and like it was fun. And then, like I said in the video, that was when I realized my friends and family didn't see me for who I was, like like the soldier that went through 5 years of hell, and then and like I and like I wasn't that lost kid no more, you know? So like I had a sense of purpose, and like I was more confident, and like I was just like a really outgoing, and like they weren't used to that. Like back in high school, I was like a shy kid. I didn't really talk. I was always to myself and everything. And then next thing I know, like my friends, they were just talking behind my back, and then I was like what's going on? And then they finally told me like we're just not used to you being like this. I'm like, like what? Like what are you talking about? And they would tell me like you're just so different. And I took like a hard offense to that. I'm all like, you guys are supposed to be my friends, and this is how like you guys are treating me like when I come back. But happy to say we've gone past it. But that's how rough it was like when I first came back, and like even some family members like did the same thing to me. Like like they shunned me because like they still see me like as a kid. I mean they still do now, but like they saw me as a lost kid, and I was like, what's the problem? And and again we just grew past it. But like yeah, like it's really rough. Like when your own small circle like starts to like discourage you all because you want to do something like with your life, you know, and then you come back and then they just do that. But like but we're past it now, and I'm glad we are. But yeah, like it was really rough when I first came back.
I just want to chime in on that, Vincent Chandler. Yeah, you're absolutely right. As far as what your family has an idea of who you are when you left. I was 27 years old. Kind of thought I had it, you know, thought I had a world by them, and you know, I needed that reset button for my life, you know. And when I left and came back, you know, same thing like with Ryan and I'm sure Thomas is, you know, you are different. You are a different person. Hopefully, it's a more mature, more developed, more determined and driven person.
Yeah, most definitely.
Is there anything you wish civilians understood about military service?
Oh, absolutely. Here we go. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. Bittersweet, right? So the first thing that's always a common misconception is, why do people join the military, right? I've met a lot of people that don't have family in the military. They know nothing about it, and that's fine. They shouldn't have to be doing research on what a military life is like if they don't want to be involved in that, right? So it's okay. But the common misconception is that we join the military because we want to go to war. For those of you that know me, I'm like a teddy bear. Everyone, actually all my close friends call me a Labrador, right? I didn't want to go to war. You know, I had a messed up childhood. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to make my life better. I wanted structure. And when you look at someone in the military, you know, it's really easy to see a soldier, but behind the uniform, you know, everyone's a person. They're going to have the same family problems as you. They're going to have the same financial problems as you, sometimes more, right? Or sometimes less. But we're all just human beings. Every single one of us in the United States, serving or not, we're all just human beings. And, you know, that's what I want the whole community that sees this to know, is that, you know, don't be afraid of veterans, or don't think that just because someone served, they're a mean person. Like, for those that know me, I'm a pretty nice guy. So.
Jose, can you read that question for me one more time, please?
Yeah, I got you. Is there anything you wish civilians understood about military service?
that I wish they understood. Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, the decision that we're making to do what we're gonna do didn't come lightly. You know, when I signed up for the Army, I wanted to go into the infantry, not for the purpose because of what it could entail, but because of, you know, I've always played Army when I was a kid, and I wanted to play with those cool toys, and I wanted to be part of something that was, as I got into my career, I wanted to be something bigger than just myself. And so, as far as, I think I would just want them to understand that when we're making that decision, when we've made that decision, that it didn't come on just a fair weather wind. It came down with a very serious self-assessment of who you are at that point in your life, whether you're 19 years old, 29 years old, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, where do you see yourself? And for a teenager to make the decision to, one, better themselves, and two, for a people, is, I mean, that's just one of the most commendable things I think that you can possibly do. Or selfless things rather that you could do. Yeah, so I think that kind of answers the question.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is that making that decision and, you know, giving up all the things that you're wanting to do in your life, giving up your family, your friends, like, it's just such a big decision.
Yeah, you're definitely changing the direction of your life. Absolutely. Yeah. You go from partying and hanging out and all that stuff to partying in a more structured environment.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and one thing that I wish that more civilians understood was that, you know, we live in a mentally tough environment like every single day, you know, and and when we make those phone calls back home, like we do like downplay it to our family and friends because obviously like we don't want them to worry and stuff, right? And like I just want people to understand that, like, because there's always a misconception that like you joined because you couldn't go to college, right? When like no, like I've met people that joined because they have a lineage in their family, like, you know, like my uncles were like in the military, and they heavily like motivated me to actually join at first. I mean, as lost as I was, like a part of me did feel like that I should join because I wanted to carry on that family tradition, you know, like it's not always because I like you know, oh, like a military is the last resort, so like I'm just join because I know what to do with my life. Like no. Like as lost as I was, like, you know, I still wanted to do it like I'm in the back of my head, you know? And then like when you get out and then like, you know, like when you're in a classroom and you like and then like you see people just secretly judging you because you joined or sorry, because you apply for college like so late at a late age, you know? So like yeah, like we all have our reasons for joining, and there's no reason to judge us why we joined.
And the last question is, did you ever learn something about a fellow service member that surprised you?
There's again a million things. I feel like almost every service member I've met has, you know, something going on in the background that surprised us all at that time. But for me, what surprised me the most was one of my good friends that I served with. He's from Vietnam, right? He was Vietnamese. And I actually went to Vietnam through my military service. And of course, when we went, everything's, you know, nice and tight. We don't learn about the government. We're just there to get in, get out kind of thing. And I thought Vietnam was such a beautiful place. And then he, you know, explained to me how he was raised, how the government operates and can take over businesses just different things. And you know, when you're in the military, one of the last things you ever do when you look at another service member is look at them for their race. And so after going to the Vietnam port and then talking to my Vietnamese buddy, it was just kind of like this weird realization that other countries have a lot going on, and like America doesn't have those struggles, or some of the struggles that other countries have. And so just hearing someone else wearing the same uniform as me, having so much hardship in their childhood, coming from another country, he has a hard time speaking English, you know, it's just learning so much from him in that moment, like just surprised the whatever out of me.
Go ahead, Ryan. I'm still kind of.
You want me to go while you're thinking about it?
Yeah, go for it, brother.
All right. So one thing that surprised me, God, I still remember his name. His name is Nordstrom. And like when you hear the name Nordstrom, right? The first thing that popped in my head that I asked him was, "Hey, Nordstrom, like a Nordstrom rack?" And he goes, "No, exactly like Nordstrom rack." I'm like, "Dude, what does that mean?" He goes, "My family owns Nordstrom rack." I was like, "Then what are you doing in the military, man? Like what?" And then he goes, "Oh, and like at first he said, like, you know, my family really wanted to join, like wanted me to join." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then as time went on, I watched him like work with us, and he wasn't the best soldier. Like he was always messing up the job. Like, dude, like what's with him? And then one day we just hashed it out. I was like, dude, like why are you not even trying to like work right now? And then he goes, "Oh, I'm only in here really because my family said I need to finish my service, then I'll get my inheritance." And that's when I realized that like I was like, "Oh, so like okay." And then my whole platoon found out, and we started being buddy buddy with him and trying to get like, "Oh, hey man, like hey, good job." But yeah, like I was just really shocked that like, you know, that I met somebody like that, because I've never heard that like in my life. But like I mean, it was very shocking, but it was also a very fun or a funny experience that like I met somebody like that. That's like yeah.
Yeah, I had a buddy who, you know, his family had some money, and it was the same thing, like, oh, I had to join so I could get my inheritance. I've actually met a couple fellow service members like that. It's kind of a funny thing when you encounter it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. I learned a lot of many uncomfortable things about guys I served with, but I mean, I guess I can't. There's really nobody. Unfortunately, there's nobody that really sticks out to me that I can say, "Oh, I learned that about that service member." Who I can speak on are the guys that I work with right now, which is Thomas and Ryan. And for me, being when I was in, seeing that our military is still producing men and women like Thomas and Ryan and other vets that are coming out into the world right now with all that's going on, and still being able to put their nose on the grind and get that and go and get after it, just speaks to the testament of the quality person that can come out of the military. We obviously have distinguished guests that are where they are partly because the drive of their service is what got them to continue fighting for what they wanted to do. So that's really all I got on that topic there.
All righty. Well, I would just like to say thank you so much to all of our panelists. Les Garcia, always a blessing. Ryan Babila, thank you for making our video because it came out perfect. And thank you both very much for participating in this event. We all know how important it is to at least send a message out to our community. So Gina, if you have some closing statements.
Yes, and a huge thank you to Thomas too for your participation and contribution to this event, and the value that you bring to the Student Life and ASSC team. And for those that don't know, Les, Thomas, and Ryan also support our Veterans Resource Center at Skyline College, and As I mentioned in my video clip, for those that are veterans and for our campus community, feel free to reach out to the Veterans Resource Center. You know, if questions, if you know of veterans that, you know, need getting connected to resources, we're here. And I did put the link to our website in the chat. So reach out to us, and thank you to the Associated Students of Skyline College for hosting this event today, and for your support. You know, it's in my job, when I see the campus community showing up and supporting our veterans for Veterans Day, it hits really close in my heart here. So thank you so much for you know, coming and supporting us, and you know, to my veteran family. I'm affectionately known as the Vet Mom. So, you know, I wish you a very, very happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Happy Marine Corps birthday today. And I hope you all know that each and every day I appreciate you, and hope that I do a justice for you in the role and the work that I do. Because without you, I wouldn't be here doing the work that I do day in, day out. So thank you all. And happy Veterans Day.
All right, so log off if you like. I'll hang out for a couple minutes if anyone has any more questions. By the way, I've been wanting to do this like this whole event. Vince Chandler, what's up?
I'll also stay